These dudes are legends. And so for me, I guess I can correlate myself to them is that I played this game and I gave my, my brain, my knowledge, my effort to pave the way for my teammates, to help my teammates become better, to help the young rookies to be better, right? You saw when some guys come in, they don't share what they know with the young bucks. They keep it all to themselves. Now I'm about to get mines. These dudes right here cared about the future and what was to come.
All right, everybody. The theme seems to continue to grow with what I'm doing on Conversations with a Legend. Yet again, another legend, and yet again, another LB. Now, this LB is more special in more than one way. And one of the ways that I'll give you is that he was part of the Legion of Boom. All right. You haven't seen it since. For everybody that talks about B-Wags, you got to talk about this man that's coming on right now, my man KJ Wright. What's happening, my guy?
What's good, man? What's good?
Hey, man, it's Conversations with a Legend, and it's on Up On Game Presents. And I appreciate you coming into the place and into the spot to have a conversation about you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Indeed. All right. So first out the gate, obviously, what's going on with KJ now? What you got going on? I know the whole you get to that point of where it's 1 foot in, it's 1 foot out. It could possibly be 2 feet in, but it could possibly be 2 feet out. What's the latest with KJ?
Damn. So I'm gonna say we 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Okay.
I want to do the dang thing. I want to do it. I want to play ball. But as you know, the way that I've done in my whole career, been with a team, OTAs, laying down a foundation, go to training camp, get my mind and body right. I didn't have the opportunity to do that last year because, went the whole time, didn't have a job. Right now, still a free agent, and it's looking like it may be the same story. And I'm not a fan of that. I don't roll like that. So if a team comes correct, comes in time, then I'm all for it. But to me, just get up off the couch week 1, week 3 of the regular season, I cannot see myself doing that.
So how are you approaching that? Clearly you're staying in shape. You look good, like you're ready to go. But how do you approach that from the mental, emotional side? Because for every person that's had an amazing career, you got a Super Bowl, you were able to do it really in one place for the majority of your career. There's that guy that's coming out of college that's an unrestricted, unsigned free agent that's facing the situation you're facing. There's that guy that may 1 or 2 years in, they're facing the same situation you're facing. How are you mentally approaching what it is that you have going on with your career?
Yeah, for me, I went through all the anxieties, all the stress of maybe not playing again. I went through that last offseason. I'm gonna be honest. I was going through it. Like, damn, did I honestly play my last football game in Seattle when we lost to the Rams? And that was tough for me to process. I'm like, I still got ball left in me. I still can play. So I went through all that drama last year. And as I approach this year, play with the Raiders, I'm at peace. I'm content with the career I put together. I'm content with the plays I made, the Super Bowls, the Pro Bowls that I got. I'm in a really good place. Thank God for that. And so whatever comes, if it comes, it's all gravy. If it doesn't, then I'll be good.
When you say you're good, you'll be good. Have you thought about what's next for KJ Wright? Is it coaching? Have you worked on anything business wise? Do you have charity foundations? What are you doing as the person outside of the game?
I'm gonna take my time to figure it out. For me, I know I want to stay around ball. I do know that. I love talking ball. I love sports media. I love coaching. I don't want to be a coach. Let's get it on the side. I don't want to be a coach, but I want to be something that can assist the coaches, help with the game plan, but not in the building from sun up to sundown.
Okay, so
I
like
got
more like a consultant.
more like a consultant.
Okay.
I love the business side. I love the managing side of help building, finding guys, bringing in talent. Like, this guy's a first round talent. Let me bring him on my squad.
So maybe a scouting consultant.
Or a
Maybe
general
a
manager.
scout, a GM.
Yeah, I like the general
Okay.
manager word better.
Okay. Well, you'll learn. You'll learn this. You're gonna have to go through the stages, my G. You know what I mean? They're
I
gonna
can't go
make you.
straight to the
They're
top.
gonna make you a quality control. They're gonna make you a scout. You're gonna have to stand in the rain. You're gonna see mosquitoes. You played at Mississippi. You're gonna have to see mosquitoes as big as the ones you used to see when you was growing up. I mean, they're gonna send you through the ranks now. I would assume, but
And that's part of it. You gotta learn. You gotta learn what it takes. You gotta learn what they see, what they're looking for. And so I'm all for working and learning. Climbing that ladder.
talk about that, man, because climbing the ladder, no matter if you're highly recruited, highly talented, or obscure, we all have to climb through the ranks to be able to make it to the next level out of high school, make it out of the level of college to the next level of the pros. Growing up, what was that like for you going through the ranks? How did things unfold for you, on this journey to making it to the league and where you are now?
For me, I feel like I never had that. I feel like I never had that respect. I feel like I never had people putting me up, with a 5-star, 4-star. I was always the guy that had to earn it, and was drafted mid-round. And so I even had coaches telling me, I don't know if you could be able to play with the big dogs when you get up to the next level. I had coaches telling me that. And so I always had to prove myself, LaVar. Always had to put my head down and go to work, go to work, go to work. When dudes out there doing the other stuff, going to work, going to work. And so it was someone that always, I had that chip on my shoulder when I was, high school, college, and in the pros.
Did you start at linebacker and stay at linebacker? How did that evolve for you?
Started at linebacker. Then my senior year, we had a new staff, and they put me at DN. I hated DN. I'm like, oh, I'm an off the ball linebacker. And so it's funny, when I was getting recruited in college, I had some people recruit me at DN, some people was recruiting me at linebacker. And the two teams that recruited me as linebacker was Mississippi State and South Carolina. So it came down to them two for me. The rest is history. I chose Coach Crum, went to Mississippi State.
Sure. Now, were you there with Smoot? You're a little younger
Fred
than
Smoot.
Smoot.
No, I ain't that old.
You're a little younger than Smooty. Yeah. Cause you came into the league at 2014.
I'm 2011.
11. Yeah, we were well in there. Yeah, he's well older than you. Who would you have been there with? Who else was there with you?
Booby, you remember Booby Dixon?
Booby Dixon. Yep.
Booby Dixon. I was there with Fletcher. I played ball with Fletcher Cox. Yeah, Jonathan Banks, Thorpe Winter. So I had some dogs on my squad.
Okay. All right. So it was always linebacker for you. Tell me about where you come from. Is that a mentality of the culture of where you're from? Was it just something that you fell into? Like how did because for me, I'm from Pittsburgh. So you see I got my Penn State shirt on. Like linebacker is literally the culture that I grew up in. You grew up the steel curtain, so it's either D line or you're a linebacker. Like, and that's what we wanted. Like, oh, you're a good running back. Nah, I'm cool. I want this LB thing. Like, I'm trying to thump. You know what I mean? So what played a part in you choosing? Because that's a grown man's position at any level. That's a grown man's position to choose to want to be a part of. What went into that thought process?
That fits my style. That fit my personality. I'm a guy that up here is where I made my money. Mm-hmm. My intellect, my skill set, my seeing stuff before it happened, my getting guys lined up when they don't know what the hell they're doing. Mm-hmm. That's what fit my skill set. And so I'm a linebacker. I'm off the ball. I'm going sideline to sideline, covering running backs, tight ends. I'll come downhill on you as well. And so it fit my skill set perfect. I didn't want to be isolated to just right here on the left side, rushing a quarterback. That's they get paid and they're good at it. Mm-hmm. That's not me. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I'm a linebacker at heart. This is what I do, and this is how I make my living.
Now, here's what's interesting. You said here, right? If that's where it worked for you, is mentally, leader, getting people where they're supposed to be, and just dictating. Make sure that you're the one that's dictating it. You have four interesting faces behind over your shoulder. The king, you got the president, you got the ex, and you got Mandela. Is that just a placeholder in your house, along with what I'm assuming is a game worn helmet, and obviously a trophy of what you got going on with your jersey?
You
There you
see
go.
Kobe Bryant, the Mamba Mentality.
All right, so you got Mamba Mentality up there. So tell me, how does that apply to KJ? KJ's face is right next to the king's face right now. So you got the king, you got the president, you got the ex, and you got Mandela, who
Yeah.
we all know about apartheid and everything. That if you don't know about Nelson Mandela, look him up. How does KJ Wright fit into that? Because I see your face right next to theirs. How does he fit?
One thing that all these dudes have in common is that they paved the way. They put other people before they put themselves, right? And they made a sacrifice for you, for myself, and these dudes are legends.
Mm-hmm.
These dudes are legends. And so for me, what I guess I can correlate myself to them is that I played this game, and I gave my brain, my knowledge, my effort to pave the way for my teammates, to help my teammates become better, to help the young rookies to be better, right? You saw when some guys come in, they don't share what they know with the young bucks. They keep it all to themselves. Now I'm about to get mines.
Mm-hmm.
These dudes right here cared about the future and what was to come. And so, and talk about Kobe Bryant. I can talk about Kobe all day.
Tell us.
Every all-time favorite player. But what I loved about him was same thing with his mentality. You seen this dude play through injuries. You see this dude when it's clutch time, he's not afraid of the moment. He go for it. And just his grit, his intensity, his clutchness. Like this dude he was everything to me growing up. And I watched him. I saw his practice habits. And I was like, how can I model him? What can I do what can I do to have that Mamba mentality? So he was everything when it came to my career.
When you talk about that Mamba mentality, in your mind, do you view that the same way heading into the rest of your life?
Hell yeah. that's the truth. And that's the truth. Oh, football has been a part of my life since I was in middle school playing the game. About to be done, here eventually. How can I attack this next phase of my life? You saw what Kobe was doing. Basketball ended. The man was winning. Winning Oscars and making films. Started academies. I plan on starting a community center back in my hometown. And so how can I be special in this next phase of life? What else can I do to still be impactful in the community? How can I make people feel great about themselves, even though I'm not playing football on Sundays? Yeah, that's next steps for me.
Love that. All right, so talking about everything that has evolved and continued to develop, the NIL. Now, the NIL and the transfer portal have created free agency and professionalism, pro athlete at the college level effectively immediately upon its arrival. First, tell me what do you feel like? What's your feelings on the NIL and the transfer portal? And then tell me, what would KJ Wright have been doing in the NIL transfer portal era of college football?
Let me tell you, LaVar, when it first came out, I was like, this thing's about to be a mess. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. And if you see what it's becoming now, I'm all for guys getting paid. I'm all for guys getting money in college. Because I know for me, they gave us a card where you swiped your card, got your food on campus. That thing run out around October, November.
And you can't go off campus either.
and you got to make it last a whole semester. So that's completely unacceptable. That's unacceptable. Dudes need to be fed, and dudes need to have their rent covered and all that stuff, and need to have some money in their pocket. I get that. What it's becoming now is what you're seeing is guys are using it as a bidding war, as a bidding war. Like they gotta say, I'm entering the transfer portal. And what has happened? Okay, I'll give you 200,000, I'll give you 300,000. But for me, it's like, what's your focus as an athlete? Is it money or is it ball to really get the millions and the big bucks? So when it came about, I'm like, these dudes' focus is not ball, it's not school. We're not gonna say that education not important because a lot of these dudes won't make it to the pros. Let's remember that. And so, what's your focus going into school? And so when it came about, I'm like, this about to get out of hand.
Hmm. So what are you seeing now? What is your thoughts confirmed in terms of it's going to get out of hand? Is it out of hand?
It's out
What
of
do you
hand.
think it could get worse than what it is
It
now?
can
What
get
what
worse.
it's going to get worse?
It can get worse. And I want these guys to be good. But what how is it regulated?
Hmm.
How is it regulated? Is it being paid out right then and there? Let's say these guys get $200,000 to go to school and they don't pan out. Do they got to pay the money back, or what does it look like? And so I just wish there could be more regulations to where how these guys get their money.
Transfer portal. Obviously that gives guys the opportunity to go, if something were to happen, you can't play because you're just not good enough. If you had a family emergency take place, you want to be closer to home. There are some real valid reasons, and everybody has used coaches get to do it, as justification. But the transfer portal accompanied with the NIL is basically a guy's way to create and generate free agency. What, for you, when you were in school, was there ever a moment? Because I know I did. I know a lot of the guys I played with, and when you sitting around and we have our conversations, there was a moment where I was not happy with where I was at. There was a moment where I didn't like where I was on the depth chart. There was a moment in time where I questioned, am I even good enough to get onto the field? Oh, should I leave? Where should I go? I'm looking. And if I'm giving full disclosure, there was a moment in time where I actually even went and visited the school that I was thinking about transferring to, because my homeboy, I was from Pittsburgh. I was looking to go back home to Pittsburgh, and I was actually on campus looking around, like wondering if I would, possibly transfer out. But the fear of failure in my heart and the things that I had already accomplished and overcame up to that point didn't allow for me to give in and give up and take that route. I stood in there. Now, for every time that somebody does and it worked out the way it did for me, there's a lot of times where it doesn't work out. And I could have been that guy that stayed too long or whatever it may have been. Did you ever have any moments? And if you had the portal, would it have spoken to you? Would it have been messing with you like, KJ, I'm right here?
Man, for me, I never had that moment. I played as a freshman. And so I was on the look. I played as a freshman, played special teams. They sprinkled me in and there on defense. So started as a sophomore, and the rest was history. And for
Mm-hmm.
me, when it comes to the transfer portal, you look at our society, it's like everyone is looking for that instant gratification. Like, what
Yeah,
can I get right now?
yeah,
Whatever happened to taking the steps? Let me work. Let me grind. Let me compete. Let me go take somebody's job.
yeah.
What happened to that? Let me go be better. Let me take what I want. Did that just disappear?
It looks to be scarce these days, sir.
Dang, what happened though? I committed to this. I'm gonna go work. I'm gonna go grind, and I'm gonna let it happen. You see, some guys they start their senior year, become a first round draft pick. You don't need 3 years to be a starter. All you need is one solid year to go ball and make it happen. And so when it comes to this, oh, it's not good enough. Oh, you're not playing me, coach. I'm gonna enter the transfer portal. So what's gonna happen when you get to the next place? You gonna do the same damn thing? Oh, you're not playing me. I'm going to enter by the time you transfer.
You don't get to do it twice. You get one time to do it. Next
Yeah,
time they gonna punish you. They're gonna
yeah.
spank you for it. You get one time.
And so, man, for me, it's really it's disheartening to see because you old school. I feel like I got an old school mentality to where
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna work, I'm gonna grind, and that if you in front of me, I'm gonna do what I can to go take what's mine.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
I feel.
Makes sense. All right. When giving advice, because everything that you've said and how you're answering is advice driven, and I really appreciate that. Was there any was there any defining moments for you in terms of your approach, like this, like you mentioned Kobe and the Mamba mentality, the leaders that are sitting on your mantle? Was there any defining moments for you growing up? Was it something about how your mom did things, or your dad, or an uncle, or your grand, or a coach? What what was the most critical, or maybe most important, aspect for you in developing the mindset that you have right now?
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. Both my parents had mom and dad had a big impact on my life, and it's funny they were teaching me stuff like not just specifically with football, but really more around it. Like my
Mm-hmm.
mom was teaching me finances when I was a kid, right? And my dad was teaching me toughness when I was playing baseball. And I remember I got kicked out of a baseball game. and,
Mm-hmm.
my dad was teaching me, hey, put your head up. And, hey, it's all right. Like
Mm-hmm.
we go come back. We go come back the next day, and we go crush it. And so I had some adversity when I was a little kid. I got kicked out of another basketball game. Got a tech, and there was some bull stuff. I should got kicked out of that one.
Tell me about it. What happened? I see. I need to understand what happened to get to where the idea of perseverance, or getting my mind right. What happened?
So we grew up in the deep south. Grew up in
Yeah.
Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
Playing against a bunch of white boys.
Mm-hmm.
My team, bunch of white boys, and it was two black dudes. And you could tell LaVar, I was killing them. I was killing them. But LaVar, you could tell like these folks was out. They was out to not have us win.
Mm-hmm.
They was out to have us not win. And so we was in a tournament, and I did something, got a check. Come on, I'm like 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And what they said was he cannot play the rest of this game, nor can he play the rest of this tournament. My dad was living. My dad was my coach,
Okay.
and we was like, "Oh hell no!" My grandma was there. We stormed and left the building. We stormed and left out. And then my dad just told me, he was like, "Son, this is some stuff that you may have to face growing up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we not gonna let this bigotry, keep us from going. There's some stuff that you have to hurdle as a young black man, in Mississippi or in the world." And so they were just always teaching me life lessons that I got to overcome, and just how to navigate through life.
Man, that's powerful, because you mentioned instant gratification being a part of society and culture now. The minimizing of what you just talked about, based upon the sensationalizing of it these days, bothers me. It bothers me that the idea of getting ahead in life, or the lack thereof, is totally rooted in my skin color.
Yeah.
I have experienced the same, and I experienced a story similar to that in high school.
Yeah.
And it was very, very interesting how that all played out, because it was a white dude on an all black inner city basketball team, and he was racial slurring me, and I spanked him.
Yeah.
And I'm at the foul line at the end, the victory free throws,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm listening to the dude still heckle me in the game, and he says to me while I'm at the free throw line, "You'll always be a grimace face
Mm-hmm.
trigger, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna always be a ugly grimace face black trigger, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Let's shoot it, make the baskets, da-da-da. We win the game. I know a couple of dudes on the team from football, from summer basketball, this, that, and the other. We dapping up. And he walks past my face, and as he's walking past, just remember what I said. Always a trigger. Right?
Are you serious?
I rocked him, KJ.
And he was on a team full of black dudes?
An inner city team from Duquesne, PA. Inner city black school, urban school. And he hit me like I was in Mississippi.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. And they were just sitting there.
They didn't hear it. They weren't here. I'm gonna tell you what's crazy.
Okay.
They was ready to shoot me. They was ready to shoot your boy. They had to escort us out, police escort us, because they was trying to follow us because I didn't punch the dude in the face. Right?
Oh, you punched him. Oh,
okay.
I
rocked him.
Oh, okay.
I rocked him. Like that last moment where you hit me with the just remember what I said. Always a trigger. Yeah. Right. And I blanked out. Like I blacked out. Yeah. When I came back through, his face was falling apart. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not proud of the way I handled it, but I don't play it. I didn't play that way. You know what I mean? So when I look at the things that people have to overcome, mm-hmm. you can state what the conditions are. Mm-hmm. You can talk about and feel the pressure and the pinch and the disappointments of maybe not getting done what you wanted to get done. Mm-hmm. And it could very well be based off of the color of your skin. Yeah. Yeah. But what I don't like about where we're at right now is instead of hunkering down and gutting up and figuring it out and finding a way and creating those opportunities and plugging away and going through the process and returning, like your dad said, come back again tomorrow, do it again, make yourself an undeniable person of value, we blame it. We give the excuse. We look for the public to support us. I can't do this. I can't make it. I can't get there because I'm black. I can't do this because of my race. I don't get the opportunity because of my race. I hate the fact that we've allowed that to become a narrative that is not used as motivation and inspiration. It's used as justification. And I don't like that. You know, how do you approach, because the same pressures that you're going to deal with when you dealt with that at 10, you're going to have levels of experiences where you feel like maybe this person is being looked at differently. Maybe they are being judged differently based upon different variables connected to who you are. How is KJ Wright going to tackle that and handle that?
Well, let me speak it from a different angle.
Okay.
When it comes to black people, we have to be aware of the systemic oppression, systemic racism mm-hmm. that we face since the beginning, since we came to America. Mm-hmm. We got to be aware of, the Jim Crow laws, of the, mm-hmm. Of our school system, segregation, bad book, bad school system, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But we got to be aware of the stuff that we have been faced against, that we still are faced against today. However, that cannot be a reason to why we cannot climb the ladder. Like this man back here, I never thought in my lifetime we'll see a black president. If we had that mentality, it'll still be the same stuff. Mm-hmm. So we gotta keep pushing. Gotta be aware of what we're against. Mm-hmm. Gotta keep climbing that ladder. Look at the NFL right now with the limited amount of black coaches, limited black GMs. The ones we're getting there. We got to keep climbing. And so we can't use that, oh, they don't want me in there. It's just a good old boy club. No, if you have that mentality, then the same stuff will continue to happen. Find a way, network, create friends to get to where you got to go and climb that ladder.
There are a lot of people out here, and they ain't black, And they could be black, but there are a lot of people out here that look to support people. They see the value in people.
Yes.
You know, and you just can't focus in on the boogeyman that doesn't like your race of people.
Yeah.
You just can't live in the shadows or waiting for the boogeyman to come out. It just doesn't work that way.
Yep. And so, or you'll be in the same situation you're in. And so those days are over where we use it as an excuse. But let's be conscious of it. Let's be aware of it. Let's keep pushing.
Indeed. All right, here's my last question, man. I do truly appreciate you coming on. Got KJ Wright, obviously played for Seattle, played for Oakland briefly, but known as one of the key members of the Legion of Boom with Bobby Wag and with obviously Sherman and Cam and you know just Earl. It just one of the most legendary units of all time within the game. And speaking of the legacy of all time in the game, when it's all said and done, KJ, I ask this at the end of every podcast I do, every show I do, interview I do. At the end, when it's all said and done, and your loved ones and the people that admired and respected and were fans of KJ Wright show up to pay their respects, the legacy that you leave behind, what is it that you would want people to remember you by, and what is it that while you listening to what they saying about you and you not there, what is it that you would hope that they say is the legacy of who KJ Wright is?
I would say on the field that he was a bad man. He would knock the shit out of you. He can cover you. He can make TFLs. He a screen master. That man can do it all on the football field. And when it comes to this generation, he was one of the best. That's on the football field. Put some, he's a bad dude. As far as my teammates, I would say I would like for my teammates to say, man, KJ, I felt like KJ loved me. I felt like KJ invested into me. I felt like KJ respected the game. And, when it's off the field, he taught me how to, invest his money. He taught me, how to be a family man and balance his life with kids and wife and football. And, he just connected with me. I hope that my teammates definitely said it about me. And so as far as
what does your wife say? What do your kids say? What are they going to say?
My wife was, let me start my kids. My kids would say, daddy was daddy. When daddy came home, he didn't come home reading his iPad and, going to work. When daddy came home, daddy was present. And daddy, tackled me on the bed when we played, we playing a little pickup football and all that stuff. And my wife would say that he worked his tail off. He battled. He put, he had to make sacrifices for this family, put us in the financial position that we're in, and to, just give us a life that we didn't have growing up. And so, same with my wife. When I came home, didn't bring work home. I cut it off at the door. That's why I went early. I cut off at the door. And so, yeah, man. And my family back home, back in Mississippi, like this man, he gave us the time of our life. We traveled across the world. We've been to Pittsburgh, California, Florida, places we ain't ever been. We went to London, and you blessed us, through football. You blessed us to experience the world. So they had a time in their life as well when I was playing ball.
I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, enjoyed it, man.
It's KJ Wright, y'all. Make sure you check him out. Anything you promote, where you at on social media? Instagram,
real quick. Quick. I'm having my alumni game, Olive Branch Charity Alumni Game, June 24th in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Tickets are going on sale 30 days before, so that's May 24th. You can go to my social media, buy them online. If you're in the city, if you're in the area, come kick it. It's going to be a good time.
What's your social media handle?
KJ_Wright34, Instagram and Twitter.
Bam. All right. We're going to put that out there. Make sure you go subscribe, check out the podcast. If you missed anything, check out priors. We keep the amazing guests coming on and coming through. Is up on Game Presents Conversations with a Legend. That's KJ Wright. I'm LaVar Arrington. It's a wrap, y'all. Until next time, we'll holler at you, man.
Appreciate it.